Alright, let's begin with Chapter 8, which covers troubleshooting procedures for the equipment, 10. The first potential fault we will discuss is a no display error. This means the main host unit is not showing any information on its screen. In this situation, you should first carefully check the power switch to see if there is a problem with it. Secondly, you will need to inspect the power board to determine if it is broken or has malfunctioned. The second common issue is a lack of compressed air. To troubleshoot this, you must first verify if the compressed air supply is genuinely depleted. In other words, confirm that the source is providing air. Additionally, you should investigate whether the pressure sensor requires recalibration or adjustment. Moving on to the third point, no label display. This indicates that the system is not detecting any labels. The primary things to check here are, first, to see if the roll of labels has been completely used up in the yang. And second, you need to inspect the label sensor to ensure it is functioning correctly and is not obstructed or faulty. The fourth troubleshooting scenario involves a no ribbon alarm, which signifies an issue with the printing ribbon. There are three key things to verify in this case. First, you must check if the ribbon has actually been fully used up. Second, check the ribbon shaft to make sure it is not stuck and can move freely. And third, perform a check on the ribbon sensor itself to confirm it is working as expected. For our fifth point, we address the problem where the 8 suction palms are unable to pick up the label. In this situation, you should check for sufficient negative pressure and inspect for any potential air leakage in the system. You should also consider if the suction area of the palms is too large for the label size. Finally, verify if there is any air improperly blowing out from the system, which could be preventing the suction. The sixth issue on our list is when the backing paper from the label cannot be collected properly. To resolve this, there are two main possibilities to investigate. First, is the traditional collection unit, specifically the one with a power belt, damaged in any way? And second, could the main circuit board that controls this function possibly be damaged? Next, the seventh problem is that the used ribbon is not being collected. When this happens, you should first check the path of the ribbon. Is it correctly wound only on the designated rotating collection wheel? You should also check to see whether the rotating track wheel mechanism is functioning normally and is not jammed. Finally, our eighth point addresses a general failure where the label cannot be handled or cannot be issued. This essentially means the entire labeling process is failing. To diagnose this, you need to check the following points. Is the label roll installed correctly according to the standard procedure? Also, is the print head assembly pressed down tightly and securely? And lastly, is the rotating track wheel installed firmly in its proper position? Is the belt exercising? Is the motor broken or the circuit board damaged? The ninth is abnormal paper output. Is the label placed under the sensor? Is the sensor damaged? Another is whether the parameter settings are correct. The 10th problem is that the 2000 cannot connect to the PC. If it cannot connect to the computer, then restart the 2200 machine. Are the connection parameters correct? Are there two ways to connect to the 2200 machine according to the above procedures? The 10th problem is that it cannot print. Are the printer parameters set correctly? Has any information been transmitted to the machine? Is there any information in the machine? Did you click start in the computer? Did you click print? Is the sensor normal? The 10th problem is poor print quality. This is more complicated. Is the printer type set correctly? Is the print head clean? Is the print head dirty and needs to be cleaned? Is the print head pressure adjusted? Do the print density and speed meet the requirements? Is the track wheel installed normally? Is the ribbon installed properly? Does the ribbon quality meet the requirements? Is the punch head damaged? These may all cause poor print quality. The third problem is that the print position does not meet the requirements or cannot stand up. The print position is wrong or there is no print content. Adjust the parameters of the Bajang series. adjust the labeling action, adjust the printing position if it does not match or the bajang cannot be attached. The first thing to do is to adjust the parameters and adjust the bajang series, or adjust the labeling action, adjust the ribbon to prevent our ribbon from folding. If we really have folding or there are white lines on the print, we need to adjust the ribbon tension. We package the ribbon tension. The first step is to loosen this screw so that the deflection wheel can rotate. The wheel can rotate. Rotate the deflection wheel to adjust the ribbon tension. Replace the power module. The power module can be replaced quickly. The first step is to remove the cover and cable. We remove the cover and cable and unplug the wires above. The second step is to loosen these two screws and unplug the power supply. Next, replace the bead board. Replace the bead board. Before replacing the bead board, we must remove the power module, otherwise our bead board cannot be removed. Remove the power module first and then remove the bead board. Remove the bead board. Loosen these two screws and remove the cover. After removal, the bead board will be exposed and we can pull out the bead board. Replace the ear house flat panel ear house board. When we replace the ear house board, we must remove the original bead board and power board, and then remove the 10 on the ear house board. First, let's identify the components we're working with. Here we have 10 wires and 7 screws. To be perfectly clear, that's 7 screws and 10 wires. Now this component here, marked with the number 20, represents the keyboard. More specifically, it's the keyboard interface. Over here is the third generation cover switch, and right next to it we have the air pressure solenoid valve. It's important to note that these are the third generation solenoid valves. Now let's examine the print diagram design. This component is the power supply for the print diagram, and here is the print diagram's power switch. Next, we have the start network, then the motor circuit board, and finally the display screen interface for the screen display. Now to replace the belts, please note that there are 3 of them in total. First, we need to remove the power module, the bead board, and the ear house board. It is necessary to remove all 3 of these boards before we can actually see the belts underneath. So, to remove the belts, after taking off these 3 boards, our next step is to remove the belt fixing plate. We need to remove this belt fixing plate and then loosen the belt's tension. This is done by loosening these 3 screws. After loosening the third one, you can remove the belt. Once the belt is loose enough, we can take it off completely. After removing the old belt, we will install the new one. Once the new belt is installed, we need to properly adjust its tension by using these same 3 screws.